Today we will be analyzing triangles that are not on the unit circle and they are not 90 degrees. So basically every other triangle we have. Before we start, let's go ahead and learn how to label a triangle properly. When you label a triangle, you can choose any three letters you want, but you have to make sure that the angles are capitalized. So we have capital F, that stands for that angle, capital E, and capital D. All right. Once you label the angles, then you have to label the sides to correspond with those angles. Notice angle E, directly across from it, we have side lowercase e. Angle F, directly across from it, has lowercase f, and then directly across from angle D, you have lowercase d. So the sides are lowercase, the angles are uppercase, and they are located opposite of each other. All right, here is the law of sines. This is actually a review from accelerated geometry. You did it when we did triangles in geometry, but it will help you solve for the missing sides and the missing angles in a triangle. Notice all of these guys are the sides and all of these guys are the angles. So we have sides and then these guys are all angles. All right. And then we use the law of sines when we have some angles that are given, maybe one angle, maybe two angles, maybe even three angles. So use law of sines when angles are present. Now if you notice there's an or right here, that just means that we have another version of the law of sines. There it is. This just means that everything can be flipped around. So you can put all the angles on top and all the sides on the bottom. All right, as long as you're consistent, it doesn't matter what's on top and what's on bottom. Okay, let's go ahead and use the law of sines to solve this triangle. Remember, to solve a triangle, you have to find all the angles and all the sides. We have most of the information already. We have two angles and one side. Let's go ahead and first find this missing angle. That one's actually pretty easy to find. We know that in the triangle sum theorem, all three angles inside a triangle have to add up to 180. All right, so doing a little bit of math, you should be able to get the missing angle to be 78 degrees. All right, now let's go ahead and find the missing sides. There's two missing sides. Let's go ahead and find this missing side first. We'll call it x, lowercase x, just because it's the side. All right, so let's go ahead and set up the law of sines. First of all, I did sine of 64, and then across from it is 9. So there we have sine of 64, and then across from that is 9. And then we just follow the pattern. Sine of 38, and then across from that is x. So sine of 38, and then across from that is x. Okay, so that's how we set up the law of sines. From here, you just cross multiply. That times that, and that times that. The x multiplied with the sine 64, and the 9 is multiplied with the sine 38. To solve for x, all you got to do is divide both sides by sine of 64. and then go ahead and punch all of this into your calculator, making sure that the calculator is in degrees mode, otherwise you will get the wrong answer. But once you punch it in, you should get x is approximately 6.1649. All right, and then let's go ahead and find the other missing side over here. We'll call it y. And you set it up the same way. Sine of 64 over 9, and in this case, sine of 78 over y. There's the setup. Cross multiply. Divide that to the other side. And punch all of this into your calculator. And there it is. We have solved the triangle. We have gotten all three angles and all three sides. Let's go ahead and do another example. This one's slightly different. Notice that we're missing a few things. We're missing this angle, and this side. All right, let's go ahead and find one thing at a time. Let's go ahead and find that angle. And it's kind of important that we decided on this angle because it has something directly across from it. And that's going to be important when you put it in the law of sines. All right, let's set it up. Sine of 39 over 7. And then we're going to call this x, angle x. So sine of x over 3. All right. From there, we cross multiply. We get something like that. Take the 7, divide it to the other side. There it is. And then at this point, go ahead and punch all of this into your calculator. Again, making sure that your calculator is in degrees mode. We should get something like this. Now we don't have the answer yet. Notice we still have sine to get rid of. How do we get rid of a sine? Think about it. We sine inverse. All right, to get rid of a sine, you do sine inverse on your calculator. Once you do sine inverse, you get the answer. That angle is approximately 15.69469. There it is. I'll erase some things. Okay. Once we have that angle, it's kind of easy to find this angle. Again, triangle sum theorem. All three of them have to add up to 180. So there is the third angle. And then from there, we just have one thing left. This missing side. We'll call it y. Let's set up the law of sines. That over that, and then that over that. Let's clean it up a little bit. Alright, we have sine of 39 over 7 is equal to sine of 125 over y. Go ahead and cross multiply. There it is. In this case, we have to move that sine 39 to the other side by dividing it. And then all you got to do is punch all of this into your calculator. And there we have the third missing side. All right, so the tricky part is, when do we use sine inverse like this, and when do we use just the regular sine button like this on the calculator? Remember, sine inverse is used to find the angles, and then the regular sine button is just used to find the sides. Okay, it's a short lesson today, but that's all we have. Go ahead and get started on your homework.